Awesome. Hi, everyone. Today I wanted to share about some structures I put in place. This is just a random list for a family that is on the neurosparkly side. So to give you context, I do have one child that has been officially diagnosed ADHD, ADD. The other one, we are not going down that pathway. But he certainly has a couple of nuances that sort of stick out in terms of nervous system. And then from a family history perspective, I'm pretty sure they've got it from me. I haven't been diagnosed, but I certainly identify with a lot of the key markers that would be in an ADHD or ADD list. And yeah, it runs in my family. I've got cousins, cousins have kids that, are neurosparkly. So these are some of the things that I have found really, really good. And listen, I started really implementing this in the last couple of years. I took on kind of examining our lives as a family, looking at where are our weak spots, where are the issues that we can't constantly butt up against, and how can we make this better. So the first one I want to speak about is actually I have a cleaner that comes in twice a month, so every second Saturday at the moment. And this has been a game changer for a number of reasons. So before we had our cleaner, my husband is of the type where he thinks that we could just get up and do 4 hours on a Saturday morning, clean the house from top to toe, and then get on with our lives. But I know I don't function like that. I also know the kids don't function like that. And because we're just not going to do it. And I also know, my energy waxes and wanes. As a woman, I'm on a completely different cycle to a man. I'm not on a 24-hour cycle like my husband. I'm on a 28-day or 30-day cycle. I also know, being neurosparkly, that, if you try and make me do something and I'm just not in the energetic space, it's going to be painful. So I decided when I moved when I decided that I would get a professional cleaner. So I went through an agency. We have a really great guy. He's a student. We agreed on, he comes in for 3 hours. Now, excuse me, with the structure that we have in place, it's not a deep clean. It's actually probably more a basic clean. It is vacuuming and mopping. It's wiping surfaces. It's cleaning the stove and cleaning the bathroom, cleaning the toilets. That's sort of it. And there's a section of the house that he doesn't even touch. It's this bit that we need to renovate. So anyway, but the way that this works for us is that, and listen, they fought it at the beginning, but it's now everyone's on the same page. The kids know that on that Saturday that our cleaner comes through, they need to pick up their rooms and they need to free up one of the surfaces in their rooms to be wiped down. So this can look however they want. I don't really care. But more often than not, what they do is they pick up everything off the floor and throw it on their bed. And then that means that the cleaner can come through and sweep, vacuum, and then mop, because we have hardwood floors all through the house. And then, yes, they have to nominate a surface because, they're very creative, crafty kids. They've got bits and pieces around, Lego set up, paper craft set up, cardboard things made, weapons everywhere, that we have to have a surface wiped. And this is a great structure for me too, because it resets me and my kind of little piles that I might create as a neurosparkly person. And, that's my kind of little I'll get into the space, I'll create something, I'll be going through certain books, I'll be researching something, and then I'll put them down going, oh, I'm coming back, and then the moment's gone. And then the piles are there, and then I might move on to something else. So to take that to sort of manage that, this is where the cleaner is also useful, because I am aware of when he's coming, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to start another little pile because in 2 days' time I'm going to have to put that away, or I put it away immediately. Doesn't mean I don't also pile stuff on my bed or in the office or whatever, but at least it's a structure, and it's great because I'm going to be honest, I am not someone that would voluntarily vacuum and then mop. And in fact, if I was doing it, I would take it so personally, I think, and be much more grouchy with the kids if they sort of ran from the backyard and brought sand in and I just cleaned, I would get upset. So at least if someone else is doing it, I still get a bit cross with them, especially, and, we'll say, well, I paid for this and you haven't, blah, 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 you've just messed this up. However, I take it far less personally if they're just being kids, and I can take it within my stride. So that's the first structure. I know some of you might go, well, I can't afford a cleaner. I have sort of found that I will weigh up doing other things and go, actually, I'd rather have those 3 hours of cleaning every second week, and I will do my own nails, or, I'm going to stretch out my haircut or something. So listen, I'm not judging anyone that doesn't. I know that self-care is a really important piece for mental health and well-being, and self-care looks different for everyone. But there's ways that I can justify freeing up this money, and go, yeah, this is actually a priority for me. And this probably segues into the next one, that is a structure that I've put in place. Now, this one might work for some people and not for others, but I am on an exercise subscription with a Pilates and yoga studio. So this means every week $50 is deducted from my account, but that enables me access to unlimited classes. So this is the two pieces that are key here for me. One is it's a class, and they're so popular that you have to sign up in advance. It's not a just rock up, I feel like it. I actually have to go into the system and I book them. Now, when I've done that, that means I'm accountable. If I don't go, I get charged a cancellation fee or a late fee, and I'm also letting down my yoga instructor, Pilates instructor, Lauren, who I love, and I want to support her in her business. And the fact that it's, a class and it's structured. So, and I have built my schedule and dropping the kids off and picked the certain classes around being able to get to these classes very reasonably. So, that's the first piece of it, is I'm held accountable, but also it gamifies it for me, because the more classes I go to, the cheaper the class. So listen, right now, so normally I do maybe 6 classes a week, and I choose the back-to-backs. This is the other beautiful system about how Lauren's got this. We do a Pilates class and then we do a yoga class. And the yoga can be, a very stretchy breathing class, or it can be a lot more movement and flows and, build up a sweat. So, and I'm okay with that. I love it. It's really great. And it took me a while to get to know the other people that go along, but now I've got some friends that I go, and we kind of keep each other accountable, or it's a point that I can go and say hi. And, I choose, so for example, I'm sitting in my car waiting for a class that will start at 9. So where I also chose it in an area that's close to a regular structure in our life. So for me, it's one of my kids' schools. This high school, I will drop him off, and he has to be at school a certain time, and then I come across and I'm ready for my 9 o'clock class. And in fact, look at me now, I'm recording a podcast episode, and I have a little bit of space. So it's not a rush. That's the other piece. And listen, if the timing of the classes was a bit rush, I would be talking to my kid about dropping him off a bit earlier. And I mean, listen, that might be a whole other kettle of fish if you've got a child that's resistant, but my kid likes to go along and talk to his friends and kind of socialize with his little bros. And so that works for us, that we might leave the house a little bit earlier to get him to school, and then I can come across and be ready for my 9 o'clock Power Pilates class. So yeah, and listen, I've chosen a studio that there is variety. Lauren's amazing. In Pilates, we cycle through different props, the circles, the balls, the bands. We have chairs, we have sticks or poles. We do, let me see. Yeah, we do it. Oh, dumbbells. So we do a number of things, and that keeps it interesting for my neurospicy brain as well. So that's where an exercise subscription works for me. But I'm going to tell you, if I had a subscription to a gym where I had to go along and today has to be leg day or today has to be, forget it. I would be one of those people that's on the subscription and have all these emotions and embarrassment and don't want to go. And I would just have my bank account be drained every month or every week, every month, and I would have all of this guilt around it, and it would be a really negative point of thinking. So this is where I've set it up to empower me, to keep me accountable, and also to make it a little bit fun by, how many classes can I get in this week, and then how much does that cost me per class, So that is a point that works for me. That's a structure that works for me. Now, the rest of them are sort of more structures around the house. So one of the things I have is what I call a wellness trolley. So, I'm a naturopath. I have a lot of herbs and supplements and different modalities around my house to fix X, Y, and Z, or for general health and well-being, or to, detoxify my lymphatic system, or, the kids are sick or someone's hurt themselves. And so I've got a lot of stuff. So to keep us on track, I have this trolley. So I guess you could think of it like a drinks cart. When I was setting this up, I was like, ooh, this is a bit like those carts they have in the Mad Men offices where they have all their alcohol, except having all the alcohol out would not be a good thing for me. And what is to have all my supplements, vitamins, bottles out and on this trolley. So, and we do have another set of stuff that sits on the kitchen bench, and that is like people's everyday vitamins, tissue salts, whatever they're taking. So that helps me in terms of triggers my brain to take my supplements regularly, and also helps me if a kid comes to me and goes, I've got a sore throat, what do I do? And then I'm like, okay, bam, 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 here we go. So that works really well. It's out and I get to see it. The other structure around the vitamins and minerals in our house is I have some over near my toothbrush. So these are things that I obviously will probably take at night. So my magnesium's over there. But also it's just that it's a habit that I'm definitely going to be brushing my teeth before I go to bed. So this is a habit where I know that there's stuff there that I've got to take, and I'm reminded to take it. And that's a big part of how I think we need to work as neurosparkly people. That's how it works for me and my kids, is that we do need visual reminders. So the other part of that is I have big kitchen tiles as a backsplash, and they're sort of, we're talking like 50 centimeters by 50 centimeter squares. I have a whiteboard marker, and that's where my lists are. So that is where the grocery list goes. We write on the whiteboard marker. That is where I might write down a couple of things that need to be done that I keep forgetting. I can't put them in my notes in my phone. I am hit and miss with a notebook because sometimes the notebook goes missing. But if that's sitting there when I go to the kettle in the morning and I see I need to organise that, and then we need this stuff for dinner or what have you, that is a structure that works really well for me. And my friends come over and they laugh because, you know, there's all these notes and bits and pieces on the tiles, and the cleaners know not to touch the list. But it's a really great structure. And listen, I actually started using this when I lived in a share house in Thailand, and I had a lot going on, and I was studying and then working, and then I was just, you know, enjoying life in Thailand, in Bangkok. I started doing this on my bathroom mirror. So you can do this with a mirror as well. And I even would put affirmations or bits and pieces. But what's nice is I'm not carrying around lots of pieces of paper. I make sure that when I leave the house, I take a photo of the list. So I've got it on my phone, and then I know what I need when I go to Coles. And you know, what can be helpful is sometimes I've updated the list and I've forgotten to take a photo, and then I'll end up in Coles and go, oh, shoot. But at least I've got the list from maybe a couple of days ago. So I might not have everything, but I'm sort of reminded of the things that I have needed for a few days. So that is a really great structure. And yeah, it's a whiteboard marker. So it's, other than using the whiteboard marker and taking a few photos, I'm not, I'm not making sort of a mess. I'm not using lots of paper, and I'm not sort of, it's a sustainable thing. We just wipe it off and then start again when we need to. And it's quite satisfying, the whole kind of tick it, wipe it off. Okay. And the cleaner it is, the sort of less I have to do in a way. So that's another structure that has worked for me for years, before I even had children, but especially now. And then the last thing, I wanted to talk about was specific to me as a solopreneur. So I operate my own business. I work for myself. I have really structured my booking system that I am in control of the amount of time and how available I am. So this is something that helps for me. I actually need to be really protective of my time. Otherwise I feel overwhelmed, and I just feel really open. I feel like my boundaries are out. So what I've got created is, if you are a new client and you're booking in cold and you haven't contacted me, you can actually only book in with me on a couple of days a week. If you're an existing client, they know they can text me and go, oh, do you have availability outside of what is in the booking system? And then we can work with it. But so I don't feel like a free-for-all. That is a structure that, from a mental health perspective, really, really works for me. And then the other thing I've done is limit the times that I start on certain days so I can fit in my exercise classes, because those are really important to me. And I book them, 4 weeks in advance. So I know on a Thursday morning, I'm not going to start seeing clients until 11:30 in the morning. So that's what's available in the clinic and on my booking system. And that really protects my mental health, makes me feel taken care of. It calms me, it soothes me. So, all right, guys, I'm actually about 5 minutes out from starting my exercise class, so I'm going to go. But that was all I really wanted to share today anyway. Hope some of that helps. Let me know if it does. I would love to hear some of your structures you use that just keep you running, are sort of points that create calmness in your world, help you function. That'd be awesome. And then we can all try them. Okay. Hope everyone's having a good day. Speak to you soon. Bye.